How's it going? Welcome back to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today's video is a review of Us, a social commentary horror film directed by Jordan Peele. It's his second film and was released on March 22nd, 2019. The story follows Adelaide Wilson as she and her family return to her childhood home. Before I hop into my review, if you want to support the channel, please take a second to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I really appreciate it, and if you did not like or subscribe, then I do not appreciate that. You're only destroying my hopes, my dreams, and my ambitions. Just kidding. This review will contain spoilers, so please continue at your own risk. Lastly, if there's something you want to see reviewed, leave a comment and I'll get to it. Thank you. We're hopping in 3, 2, 1. As a child, Adelaide had a traumatizing experience at a house of mirrors on a beach. She terrifyingly saw one of her reflections acting sinister. Ever since then, she has had trouble with her speech, and it took years of therapy for her to talk normal again. In the present, she's married to Gabe and has 2 children with him, Jason and Zora. They're vacationing at her childhood home, and despite some pushback from her, they go to the beach. After Jason is found wandering off, they decide to leave the beach. The entire time Adelaide has been there, she's been feeling extremely uneasy, like someone's out to get her. Later that night, her worries become true. A strange and identical family breaks into their home with plans of killing them. The family refers to themselves as the Tethered. Throughout the night, Adelaide and her family fight these Tethered and the tethered versions of their family friends. Eventually, nearly all their Tethered are completely dispatched, and Adelaide faces off with hers, Red. In these final moments of the film, we see a shocking truth. The Adelaide we've been following throughout the story isn't the true Adelaide. She is the tethered version and swapped places with Adelaide in the House of Mirrors many years earlier. After killing Red, the film ends ominously with Adelaide knowing she is safe. I enjoyed the plot and thought it did a good job of subverting my expectations. Peele put in many references and clues to foreshadow the twisted ending, and I was fully invested in the plot. The biggest theme that I found in this film is that we are our own worst enemies. This concept is embodied in the title and plot of the movie. While it may be symbolic, Adelaide and Red are 2 halves of the same coin. Adelaide did something wicked and Red does something wicked. Neither is truly good or innocent. As individuals, we should take into account our flaws more often. Building off of the theme that we're our own worst enemies, this thought also applies to life in the United States. Again, this can be symbolized in the title Us, an abbreviation for United States. The film started off by telling us how there are thousands of miles of untouched underground tunnels. By the end of the film, it's clear that the US government performed some experiments in these tunnels. Us is a social commentary cautioning us to take a closer look at our government and our society because our greatest downfall could come from within. Considering the acting and the characters, I thought they were stellar. Lupita Nyong'o was amazing as both Adelaide and Red. She brought an exceptional amount of emotion to both characters in vastly different ways. Winston Duke was hilarious and lovable as Gabe, but intimidating as Abraham. I am not normally a fan of child actors because they always look silly and sound so scripted, but both Shahadi Wright Joseph and Evan Alex did amazing jobs. Shahadi was terrifying as Umbre, and Evan came off as psychotic with Pluto. Equally impressive for me was the chemistry the actors had together. I never felt like they missed a beat. Running for 2 hours, I almost felt like the movie was a little too long. Almost, because the movie managed to keep me entertained throughout its entirety. The film was largely intense, but had comedic moments that helped make the film not feel so serious. I liked these comedic interjections and thought they helped enhance the pace and direction of the film. The ending of the film felt a little bit rushed, but as my mind processed the twist, I realized why it felt that way and I appreciated it. One of my favorite things about the film was the score and the soundtrack. It wasn't the most sinister score or soundtrack, but I really enjoyed it because it was very unique and still made me feel a bit on edge. Pas de Deux by Geek Music is a masterpiece to me, and I still listen to it to this day. When it comes to the dialogue, Adelaide and her family drive the majority of it. I think they do a good job, but nothing quite stands out from them. Instead, I think the dialogue or unsaid dialogue from the Tethered speaks loudly. For decades, they haven't had a voice, and with the return of Adelaide, they finally get to have a voice through their actions. They will forever be noticed. I didn't think this movie was the most cinematic, but it did have several interesting shots. My favorite shot was during the introduction with the caged rabbits. It was very very eerie. I also enjoyed the production design with the House of Mirrors and underground tunnels, and felt that Peele did a good job creating a believable set. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. While I don't think it's the best horror film or social commentary, it definitely gets its message across. Some of the things I enjoyed but thought could use improvement were the direction, dialogue, and cinematography. However, despite my criticisms, I thought this film was worthy of an 8.7 out of 10. For me, this is Jordan Peele's best work, followed closely by Get Out. I encourage you to watch this film and find out how we can be our own worst enemies. Thank you for listening to my review of Us. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to leave a like and hit subscribe. If you didn't enjoy the content, then leave a like out of pity. If you agree or disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I'd love to read what you have to say. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, let me know and I'll get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Friends with Benefits. My name is Diego, and I'll see you next time.